Всем привет, кто присоединился. Я ожидаю нашего спикера, ожидаю остальных присоединившихся. Сегодня мы говорим с калифорнийским образовательным учреждением UCR о возможностях образования в США, о возможностях остаться на 3 года работать и закрепиться, о ценах, о стипендиях и обо всем, что волнует будущих переезжающих или будущих студентов, или людей, которые хотят получить новую квалификацию, насколько по возрасту все это должно происходить. Нам расскажет об этом мой коллега. Мы ждем его присоединения. Если есть какие-то вопросы, кидайте, потому что, в принципе, у меня у самой к нему достаточно много вопросов накопилось, потому что последние изменения с пандемией, они обусловили изменения, в принципе, всей системы приема зачисления, продления сроков зачисления, да, они изменили некоторые реалии, некоторые востребованности некоторых профессий. Поэтому мы обо всем об этом обязательно у него спросим, как только он к нам присоединится. У нас есть разница во времени, поэтому подгадали. Сейчас почти 19 по Москве, 21 по Сургуту, и по их времени сейчас 9 утра. У нас разница с Сургутом ровно 12 часов, поэтому мы вот в такое время запланировали эфир. Вы можете его также посмотреть в записи. Марина, здравствуйте, я надеюсь, у вас все хорошо, настроение прекрасное, потому что, в принципе, вроде бы как когда-то должен быть конец всех карантинов, и есть такое ощущение, что он скоро, но в Сургуте здесь ситуация не очень, считается, что ситуация не очень, поэтому даже не знаю. Уже как-то все философски про это говорят достаточно. Расскажите что-нибудь, задайте какие-то вопросы. Пока у нас нет нашего спикера, можно поболтать о чем-нибудь, поговорить. В общем, про образование в США сейчас выборы в США проходят, да, в разных штатах. Сейчас в США думают о том, оставлять OPT или не оставлять OPT. OPT — это разрешение на работу в течение года или 3, в зависимости от вашей специальности, после обучения. И поэтому очень много интересных у меня есть вопросов сейчас, которые мы зададим. Джейсон присоединяется у нас. Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening. Good morning from Los Angeles.
Yes, it's evening our time, therefore there are not so many people who joined, but we are going to record this very live for them to be able to see it. It's 9 o'clock in Surgut, in our area in Urals, so they will watch the recording. So how is the situation up there in your place there?
So it's getting better. But as everywhere, it was a very tough spring quarter. So just as the pandemic hit here in California, we were moving into the spring quarter. So all the students were taking finals from the winter, getting ready to start internships or to move into their next bit of academic coursework. And from one day to the next, everything off campus, everything online. So we had a tremendous effort to move all of the classes from the classroom into the digital space, get all of our students comfortable with using the learning management system, and then, of course, all of the staff out of the office and working from home. So it also meant a lot of students wanted to return back to their home countries. So we had a lot of planning and logistics to do, but it's settling down. Things are getting better in California. And day by day, more services, restaurants, businesses, the beaches are all starting to open back up. So we're very optimistic. People are still very cautious and taking a lot of precautions to safeguard public health. And we're lucky we have a very intelligent governor and mayor and public health officials who have been really guiding us very well through that process. So it's getting better day by day. we're looking very much forward to the fall and a new academic year. But it's not finished, of course, like everywhere. But I think we're moving in the right direction here.
So it's moving. And do you expect it to be offline on campus by fall?
So that's a good question. I think we'll have a mixture of both. So I don't think that the chancellor of the university will allow everything to go back onto campus. So there will be capacity restrictions. So we'll have maybe 50% of what we would normally deliver in the classroom and 50% online. So our division with international education programs, we're part of a unit called UCR Extension. So we have some additional autonomy over other campus departments. So what we're going to do is to prioritize the programs that really depend on face-to-face interaction, like our university credit program and like the postgraduate certificates and diplomas. Those we will prioritize because they need the in-person experience, the intercultural experience that is part of the curriculum, and also because those programs allow students to apply for CPT and OPT. And so we want to be able to maintain their eligibility for CPT or OPT applications when they complete their programs. So we'll prioritize those. Some of our other programs, like the admissions preparation program that provides students a pathway into the undergraduate admissions, we will start online and see how things go as the year progresses. We hope that as things get better, that in the winter and spring quarters, we can bring those students on campus as well. But that program doesn't have OPT. So when we look at, what can we prioritize in the best interest of students, we want to make sure those students who want the career training as part that's so important, along with the in-class training, that they have that eligibility. Intensive English, we will keep online for the fall quarter as well. And we'll see, like everything, we'll see if the winter quarter allows us to bring those students back online, or back in the classroom, I'm sorry.
Would the price differ for those who are on campus or online to distinguish it better?
We do, yes. So when you come to campus, you have the regular price as always. And then for online programs, most everything has been discounted quite substantially. In some cases, almost by 50% even. Mm-hmm. So there has been a price reduction for students who are taking the online program. So for example, like the university credit program, if you do that online, you could be paying, if you're just doing one quarter, for example, a quick certificate, maybe up to $2,000. If you come to campus, then $5,600. So there's a substantial difference for those who do the programs online and those who come to campus. Because we understand that for most international students, it's the experiential nature of traveling to a foreign country to have that study experience. So we don't deny that that's such an important part of the student experience, just as much as the academic experience as well. But then we do have all the programs online in an online format for students who in the moment, need to, pursue a certificate or a diploma for whatever reason, but can't make it over to the US at the moment.
So we will distinguish their necessity if they need an experience or a knowledge and a document, yeah? Would the document differ in this case if I decide to take 100% off online? Online, I just need the knowledge and document.
Yeah, in some cases, so if you wanted to do a certificate, maybe a certificate in accounting or in education therapy, so it's much fewer documents, right? You just need to show that you have completed, for those programs, the high school diploma and some college work, and that's really it. Mm-hmm. For a postgraduate diploma, it's different because then you need to show that you have completed the undergraduate degree. So for online programs, essentially it's just an application, really. It's a very quick online form. For those who would come to the US, then of course it's a very different set of documents. You have the application, you need to submit the passport, the bank documents showing that you have sufficient funds, as well as copies of diplomas and transcripts. And all of that is collected by our admissions office so that we can then issue the I-20 for the student to come, well, to go get the visa appointment and then come to the US. So for online programs, very easy, straightforward process. If there are prerequisite classes, it will say that in the application so that students know before they apply if they need certain coursework in different disciplines.
So, but the document that I get, is it the same that the students on campus gets?
So when you complete, you mean?
Yeah, as I complete.
It's the same one. You get the same certificate or diploma, it's exactly the same.
Then it's a great possibility. So the only difference is the experience.
Exactly, yeah. The documentation, the certification, exactly the same. So if you're here, you have the in-person experiential aspect, and we give you the certificate in person. If you do it online, when you complete, then we simply FedEx that to you upon completion. But it's exactly the same certification, correct? Yeah.
Thank you. So you've already mentioned that you are the part of the great institution. What are you exactly? What's the name? What is the level of qualification? And where are you located?
So we are part of the University of California, the Riverside location. So we are about, most people know where Los Angeles is. So we are about 60 miles to the east of there. So it's a really great location. I live in downtown Los Angeles, and so I commute out to Riverside. But what's great about the Riverside location is that you have, within an hour from you, you have Palm Springs, which is known for its film festival. It was the retreat for Hollywood actors throughout the, the golden era of film. You have mountains that you can go skiing in 1 hour away. Then you go the other direction to the west, and you have Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, some of the most beautiful beaches in Southern California that you can enjoy. Los Angeles is just an hour, depending on traffic. I mean, it can be longer too. As you know, Southern California, there's a lot of people on the road. It's close by. If you want a fun weekend getaway, Las Vegas is a 3-hour drive, or you can just hop on a bus with your friends. So it's a really great location. So UCR Extension, we are the continuing and professional education department of the University of California, Riverside. So we provide what underscores our services compared to the traditional on-campus experience is that we're very much focused on experiential education and employment and trainability and real-world experience. So the instructors are practitioners. So you're getting, of course, theory, but a lot of practical knowledge in each of the classrooms. And another great aspect of having those professional instructors is the networking opportunities that provides our students. So yesterday we just had our postgraduate certificate ceremony. They completed their year. And we always like to hear, so what was so important? And the students said, well, our teachers were amazing. They're practicing professionals. They helped me expand my professional network. They really served as a mentor for me who's starting off in this profession to look at what to do to maintain my career. And I know that I have somebody I can go to as I embark on the new career journey for advice, for mentorship. And in addition to that, I have classmates from so many different countries that are now part of my professional network that we've gone on this experience with together. And so that, along with the internship, which is it's a critical part of that program, are their favorite parts. So when we look at UCR Extension, it's intercultural training and the real world experience and knowledge that students gain through the programs. We try to make it, the theory of course is very important, but we feel that the hands-on practical experiential nature of our programs is really a key and unique feature. So when you're on the main campus, you get a lot of theory, traditional undergraduate or graduate school experience. With UCR Extension, we combine both. And we provide a career and employability office in our facility to help students to look at ways that they can really, market themselves and sell themselves in the future, whether that be through online portfolios or different means to market themselves through application and networking, looking at ways to enhance CVs, and then we do different networking events in Riverside as well with the Chamber of Commerce to help students get out and meet industry professionals. So it's good for them, in so many different ways as they develop their, professional competencies.
So yeah, there are plenty of opportunities, especially if you have this target, you would seek for it. And of course, you would have the possibility to network if it's facilitated by the institution. So what is the degree that they get? Do you have a range of degrees? Is it masters? Is it diplomas?
Diplomas and certificates. Mm-hmm. So on the main campus, they would get their degree, their undergraduate or graduate degree. With Extension, they would get a professional certificate or a postgraduate diploma or certificate. So those are what we offer through UCR Extension. We do have, with the postgraduate diploma program, master degree articulations with various universities around the world. So for example, a student could come to UCR Extension and do a postgraduate diploma in tourism and hospitality. And then they could, after doing OPT, transfer to one of our partners in Europe and get a master's degree in the same discipline, for example. So we have partnerships that lead to master's degrees as well.
So is it OPT available after a certificate study?
So, it can be, yes. So the requirement for OPT is that you complete 3 quarters of study in the US. So if you do a certificate, it would need to be for 3 quarters, and then you can apply for OPT. And then for the postgraduate diploma programs, already those are for 3 quarters, so you qualify once you complete the program. So with the postgraduate diplomas, your first quarter, you are doing a modularized format of professional management and business skills, and then you transfer into specialized courses. So we have a broad range of postgraduate programs from business management, sports management, biotechnology management, engineering. And in that second quarter, you're doing specialized courses in those different disciplines. In the third quarter, you then do a supervised internship. So our internship coordinator, as you're going through the first and second quarter, is coaching you, holding workshops and one-on-one sessions to advise students towards the internship. Then in that third quarter, you select a company and you go to practice what you've been learning. It's the practical application of that theory. And so students do that in Southern California, but we have students who go to New York, Boston, you name it. It's all over the US for the CPT or internship. And so then at the end of that program, either for a 3-month certificate or postgraduate, you can then apply for OPT, optional practical training, which allows you to stay in the US and work for up to 1 year, or for STEM programs up to 3 years. So we encourage students to actually apply before they finish the program because it can be a lengthy application process. It's a very popular program, but it's a great program in that you have further ability to, gain industry experience here in the country. So it's something that you would start probably in the third quarter applying for, so that you're not waiting forever to get that authorization from USCIS.
Well, that's fair enough. About the internship inside the program, is it paid or the students don't get paid?
Both. So many students, I think most of our students are able to find paid internships. Some of them will not, but for the most part, they do find a paid internship. And that internship actually can lead into the OPT. So a successful experience on the internship, the company, they might not want you to go after 3 months. They might say, no, apply for OPT here. And then you extend for a year with them. So that's one of the great parts about having that CPT built in, is that it does lead into OPT opportunities for the students as well. But for the most part, those are paid internships. The salaries range, from maybe $15 an hour up to $30, $35 per hour. So not bad. They're fair salaries for an internship.
Mm-hmm. And the courses that you design, what are the most popular choices of programs, because the life has changed, it gets more online. So what is the most popular?
Good question. So our most popular programs are the big data technology, engineering management, biotechnology management. Sports management is always very popular. We have a lot of students who do sports management, and the data science. So kind of in line with what you just mentioned, they're very technology and engineering focused. I mean, those are, when you look at sort of career projections, these are where things are going. Cybersecurity, data technology, data analytics, engineering. So those year to year tend to be our most popular programs. And in terms of inquiries for this year, have also been the most popular for the fall.
Great. Now, it's a very big concern for those who have a Russian passport and the former USSR country's passport. They, if the people are 35, 36, 37, 40 years old, and they have decided to take managerial diploma or certificate, they doubt of being eligible for student visa in this case, even having applied for the program. Do you have any experience of age limiting for US Embassy to go to such programs?
We do not. We have students, in their 40s who come to do the postgraduate programs. So it's not so much the age as the student's ability to articulate in the embassy the purpose of their study and how it relates to their future career plans. So, we've had students of all ages get visas, and in my previous role, I had a lot of students who actually came from Russia, and students 40s, upper 30s, 40s who had no problem getting visa. It's really, the important thing is, being prepared for the visa interview. Okay, why do you need this program? What is it going to do for you? Why are you choosing that institution? And then, very importantly, when you come back to your home country, how is this going to help you? So they want to see all of that connection. That's the most important thing. I don't think age is so important as your ability to articulate those goals and objectives. So the students I've seen who are outside of what the traditional age range would be are able to do that. And then another aspect of the extension is that we are professional in continuing education. So our students are learning all throughout their life. So we might have people who have been, in a career for 20 years, but as the world evolves and changes, I need to upskill. I need to continue my education in this field, especially if it's technology-based. So yeah, I might not look like a traditional student, but I still need to continue my education. So these are the types of things they need to point out. Maybe I'm an IT practitioner, but this course has very specialized curriculum that's going to help me in my profession, and I need those to obtain those skills and stay fresh in my industry.
So personally, you maybe, or as a result of your experience, what would you advise to consider for the young professionals to be upgraded at, to contribute to their knowledge and to have the experience? Maybe some specific in-demand specialties in the USA?
I would recommend, so there are several things I would recommend that we do. I would recommend certificates in data analysis, cybersecurity. Coding is very popular as well. It's a skill that is so much in demand and so needed. And then also to look maybe at the biotechnology and bioengineering specialties, because these are never going to lose demand. There's always a need for these, and especially as we see the situation we live in now, even more so. So those are the industries that I would recommend for somebody who's looking to sort of stay competitive and stay with the current trend.
So after the biotechnology certificates, where do they normally find their jobs, their internships?
So they find them in different pharmaceutical and biotechnology companies throughout California and on the East Coast. So in the US, they're kind of hubs for these industries, and San Francisco is one of those. Los Angeles is emerging. There are new companies forming, but then also in Boston and Cambridge. So different biotech companies and pharmaceutical companies are where those students find their internships, their OPT, or in some cases even employment.
because it's in demand and it's difficult to study, therefore there are not so many professionals, I can guess. So
Exactly.
and the prices, that if you are extension, but you belong to the one of the most reputable university institution, the prices could not be really low. But what are the prices range?
So yeah, it's a good point. We are part of the UC system. So University of California is the #1 public institution in the world. So for the postgraduate, say you want to do a postgraduate diploma, bioengineering, for the full year, it's $18,200. So it's not the lowest price, but it's also not out of reach. And given the reputation and the rankings of the UC system, it's fair. And I do a lot of competitive analysis as part of my job, of course. And I see that it's very much in line with universities throughout the US and internationally, and even in some cases lower cost than universities who are not highly as ranked. So I think it's a good price. Another thing about Riverside is that the city itself is much more affordable than Berkeley, than Los Angeles, than San Diego. So you will find prices for cost of living on average from 42 to 60% lower than those cities. So you have a chance to do some savings. So for example, if you want to rent maybe a 1-bedroom apartment in Riverside, you can spend $1,500 per month, let's say. But if you want to do that in San Francisco, up by Berkeley, it's going to be about $1,000 more per month. So that's one of the strategic advantages of Riverside, is the cost of living is quite a bit lower. So for students who want to have a good location, access a lot of the great things of Southern California, but a lower cost of living, Riverside is really a great option.
And few final questions. What, for example, if the person is mature, he could prove his necessity for managerial education, let's check in biotechnology, for example, but possesses no sufficient language skills. How could Riverside help in this case?
So in that case, we could help with our intensive English program. So we hope to have that back face-to-face soon. And if not, we do have the online modules that a student could enroll in. And so we have equivalencies. Once they reach the level, once they pass level 600, then they can go into any of our certificate or diploma programs. So we do have that pathway, and we have a lot of students who do just that. They really want that postgraduate certificate, the professional certificate, or they want to do one of the pathway programs, the Master of Business Preparation or the Graduate Preparation Program, but they might not quite yet have that English level. So we have the intensive program that allows students to achieve that language level and then transition into the certificate or diploma program of their choice.
So what does it imply at an intensive program? What's the difference of the general English, and as intensivity is higher, what are the terms of skills acquisition?
So for the intensive English program, it's each day they have 5 hours of class. So it's quite a substantial amount. And there are two parts of the program. The first is integrated skills that combines all of the language skills into a blended classroom environment. And then we have elective classes. So those really depend on the student's motivation. So for students who are looking for something more academic, they might do a test prep, or they might do specialized grammar or pronunciation or writing skill workshops as their electives to help accelerate their progress and meet those goals for the education.
That's absolutely great. And your online modules, are they more interactive? Do students see each other? Is your platform convenient enough? Is it a huge difference? Like, what is the feedback of students having online intensivity?
So we just piloted our first group over the spring quarter, and we had overwhelmingly positive feedback because they do have the interactivity with each other and also feedback from the instructor as well. So for them, that was very important. We use a learning management system called Canvas. They found it very accessible and easy to navigate. We partner with National Geographic for the curriculum. So by the nature of this, they have a lot of interactivity with videos and speaking practice and listening practice to where, okay, it's never going to be the same as the classroom, but it's a really good alternative. So they felt very comfortable and confident with that. And we were lucky that we had students who could compare both, who had done one and then moved to the online. And we were waiting, what are they going to say? And we were really happy with the positive feedback that they had for the program.
Oh, great. So it's a great experience because I'm practicing teacher as well, and I have found that the platform, that the Zoom or anything like that, really practical for some students who are visual. If they're visual, it might be even more beneficial to them than the interaction in class where they get distracted all the time to each other. So yeah, it might have been for better.
And for some students, yeah, it allows them actually to concentrate. They're sort of, as you mentioned, those external distractions are taken away. They have time to concentrate. And then for some, they have more time to think and process, which for certain learners is a very important part of that. So it can be just as effective.
Yes, absolutely. And my final question concerning groups, I have already talked to your marketing department that we could arrange some group trip for 2 or 3 weeks as a kind of short-term certificate program for professionals, but of different levels, maybe of English or maybe different levels of backgrounds. But could it be some kind of, have you had an experience of having such programs? And what could you actually offer?
So we have a lot of it. This is actually one of our biggest growing areas, are what we call the customized professional programs. And the groups are, just as you mentioned, they are different English levels often and from different backgrounds. So we do programs for financial management. We do programs for hospitality and tourism. We do programs, one of our biggest programs is actually for nursing. So we'll have 100 students come from Japan for a nursing intensive. It's only 1 week, but the variety of English ability is interesting, some very low, some very high. And so for us, it comes back to the training that we provide the instructors who we have to understand cultural differences and to understand how to teach to students who have varying backgrounds of education and English proficiency. And then the way we structure our student services, we're very fortunate to have professional group chaperones and escorts who in some cases have done this for 15, 20 years. So they understand the nuances of groups with different backgrounds, and they're able to guide them and provide assistance. So one of the most important parts of a group trip is to do a site visit. So if you're doing a customized group for 2 weeks in financial management, you'll visit different sites throughout California to interact with industry professionals. But if you're an English language learner or maybe lower English proficiency, that's going to be difficult. So we send staff with the group to help the chaperone to facilitate those conversations with the students and the professionals on the site visit. So those are the ways that we address those challenges. And we find them to be very successful. But this type of program, we have seen tremendous growth. I mean, it's too bad that we had the pandemic, because we had in this spring quarter so many different programs, both and of all ages, professionals from India, from China, you name it, but then also youth groups as well, who are coming maybe for creativity and leadership workshops, or to do what we call communication in American culture. So we have a broad variety of them and really spanning all age groups.
So what is the minimum age for the youngsters? Do you have it actually?
For the youngsters, we accept in the summer as young as 12 years old. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Really, if it's a customized group, we can do that all year round. So from 12 up, I would say on average, those groups are usually from 14 to 17. That's usually the age group that we have for them. And then for the adults, you name it, up to 75.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I know what my students are going to do next summer. Because
Coming to Riverside.
Yes, this is something that I have a great experience of doing.
Okay.
I have been working with adults to engage them into learning English, because in Russia we face with the problem that adults in their 30s struggle with English language, but they want to develop, to be stronger, to compete with internationals, but they still struggle. So I
Okay.
organize such trips mostly for adults and adolescents, young professionals, for those who really seek for an experience. So I believe we would be able to create a tailor-made program suitable for our needs of our area. Financial management is also a great idea, I believe, and we would do it together, because it's a really attractive opportunity and the best place for spending the summer.
You
Therefore,
can't beat it. You can't beat it. You can have your lessons in the morning, then the afternoon we can go down to the beach, or you can do certain days of full intensive classroom and then take days off and we can go to Los Angeles or down to San Diego, out to the desert. We have a lot of flexibility. And the way that the department constructed the English curriculum, there's a lot of flexibility for us to do those types of things. So, and that's how we do it. You know, we even we'll do partnerships with the different organizations on UCR campus. So we don't even have to leave Riverside. We have different recreational clubs and activities that they can do right there on campus to enrich their, the cultural experience and the cross-cultural learning.
so it was a real pleasure to talk to you. I actually ran out of all my questions because you were really so descriptive, and I am already eager to start my online program first to follow up with on campus. It's really something that we lack. We have a lot of businesses now appearing in Russia. The business environment in Russia is quite easy, simple to start, and the taxation is not that bad, if to be honest. Therefore,
Okay.
but the managerial skills, the knowledge that we might get, really suffers because we don't mostly have it. And what we can benefit from is a certificate course for managerial, some kind of thing, even financial management within the UCR, and I have some ideas of how to do it. Therefore, we would be in touch. Absolutely.
Yeah, keep in touch, and we can help you plan all those different steps and look at all of the options. So when the students come, they really can focus on those managerial skills or financial managerial skills, as well as have a great experience in Southern California.
So thank you very much, Jason. It
Thank
was a
you.
pleasure. We'll be in touch and see you next time we're having live. I believe it's going to be also soon.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Have a good evening.